Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Patra and this is the Modinomics 3.0 special edition of Market Today presented to you by ICICI Direct, a show that will help you understand the closing action on the D Street. We're at the day's high point, 24,800 and thereabouts, almost a 400-point tick on the higher side on the Nifty. A robust screen of green in front of you. Beat the Nifty Bank that's now solid into the green, 51,220. All the sectors are up into the green right now, starting with metals. That's the top mover among sectors, 3% higher. IT, auto, infra, broader markets, pharma, you name it, all the sectors are up and about. Which are the top gainers on the Nifty? It's Shriram Finance, solid gains coming in on this one too. Apart from this, Divis Laboratories, Apollo Hospitals, Adani Enterprises, Wipro, these remain the top movers on the Nifty. Let's see if there are some stocks that are in the red. Hardly 3 stocks that are into the red today. It's only Nestle, ONGC that's seeing some profit booking after that stellar run, and Dr. Reddy's. 47 stocks of the Nifty 50 stocks that are up into the green. A solid screen of green, 1.5% higher for the PSE index as well, all across the board. It's a broad-based buying action, Shell.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and it's turned out to be a fantastic day. If you were with us in the morning, Sakshi and I were discussing whether the Friday close will be above 24,500 or not. लेकिन जब प्रभु छप्पड़ फाड़ के देते हैं तो दोनों हाथों से लेना चाहिए. Now we are getting greedy and we are hoping to have a record close, which was 24,859, which we saw week to week last. But what a fantastic rally! And let me point out Business Today's option pick that was discussed at 156 rupees. I'll request the PCR to fire. Yes, exactly. So, Sakshi, this is how you trap momentum, and this is how things look up when they want to look up. This was purchased at 155, 153 rupees, and I had said that this is going to be an intraday trade. So, what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, with the grace of God, we will close this one here for 2 reasons. Tomorrow and day after is a holiday, therefore you will have theta decay, and although I am very, very confident that you have a record high in the making, but one should never be greedy. We've made more than 100% in a single session, and the session is still to end. So what we'll do is we'll call it a day here on this one, and then again look at the same call on Monday. I am sure it will recalibrate its previous highs, and then we'll take a look at it a little later. Sakshi, massive uptick in PSU stocks. 2 insurance players, NIACL and ICICI Ray, up 19 and 15% respectively. Remember Shriram Finance, I had pointed out that it was the worst performing Nifty stock for the last week, down 8%. Well, all that and more, 9% higher, in fact 10% higher on Shriram Finance at 29.53. Again, for those people who have been with us for a longer period of time, you might have remembered that we started this one at 1,800 rupees. This was Ashish Chaturmota's pick, and from then on it has been a unidirectional one-way move. The other interesting thing, Sakshi, I want to mention is that you have a fairly decent kind of volume. 2,600 crores on HDFC Bank, Tata Motors 1,760 crores, Axis Bank thankfully in the green 1,757, and of course we have ICICI Bank which will be reporting numbers on Saturday. So please keep an eye out on this one. All in all, a fabulous day. Nifty Bank was, I think, 400 points in the red. It is now 320 points up.
Wow. That's the kind of the rally that we are looking at. Let's look at the broader markets also, where there is enough and more gains that are coming in. Several new stocks. The insurance space is a buzz. LIC hit a lifetime high in the intraday levels, so it's now trading with sharp moves right there. If you look at the counter, that's above 1,100 odd levels. You also see the New India Assurance Company, that's also up 19%. Look at LIC, that's up 1176 right now. Of course, this is near the all-time high levels. NIACL is 19% higher in trade. That's the kind of move that's coming in. in. Of course, the entire space was slowly and gradually moving right from the last week. We did see ICICI Twins moving up within the insurance basket. HDFC, SBI Life have been constantly moving up, and now you have newer entrants that are coming in. Let's also pull up GIC rate to see whether that one is also on the move in trade today, and whether it's across the board momentum that we are seeing on that one. So you have it. HDFC Life up in front of you, 3% higher. GIC Ray in front of you, 15% higher in trade. The entire space is a buzz with all that action. Broader markets, what else is moving? You have 197 Communications, Paytm, that's up 10%. I think Kiran in the morning had also suggested Paytm as one of his calls as well. So you have several other stocks. Is there anything that I should be mentioning? Well, here and there are many. Iron Exchange, several others, but it's a buzzing screen right there. Okay, let's welcome our guest on the show now to take this conversation forward. We have Jay Thakkar, Head of Derivatives and Quant Research, Vice President, ICICI Securities, joining in. Remember, that's a trusted brand with which you can live the AND life. That is, meet your aspirations with research-backed investments. Warm welcome to you, Jay, and good to have you with us. Well, you're smiling, and so are the markets. Almost 390 points higher in trade. We seem to have recovered, I think, the 2 days of losses almost that we have done. So the markets are quick to forget and move on with a lot of belief that this story is not here to end, even if there are higher taxes, right?
Well, first of all, a very good afternoon to you, Sakshi. Very good afternoon to you, Shell. Thanks for having me on the show today. It's quite positive. It has brought smile back into everyone's face, and after that, increase a bit of tinkering in the taxes, which actually pinched many of the market participants. But then, if market rewards like this, I don't think that people would mind paying that extra bit of tax as well, because if markets are providing this kind of returns, then market वालों का इतना तो दिल है कि 2.5% से ज़्यादा कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, right, Shell ji? So I think that overall trend in the market continues to be positive. I mean, what's interesting, Sakshi, is that if you further decode the budget, then apart from this, little bit of concern which the market participants, I mean, whosoever had, I mean, whosoever we must have, or we must have actually discussed, apart from this FTC, CG, STCG, STT, I mean, what else in the market has not been, what else in the budget has not been favorable for this, Indian capital market or the India Inc. I don't think so anything. I mean, there is a lot of things in infra, so the capex plan is on. I mean, there is a clear continuity in the policy out there as far as spending in the infra, defense, rail, telecom, all of this is concerned. I mean, a lot of subsidies in metals is concerned. We're seeing metal index doing really good today. Export, aquaculture, job creation, focusing on that, and then the two important state infrastructure, development of the economy, and above all, I would say bettering the fiscal deficit numbers and maintaining that, and having further positive fiscal deficit target as well. And so I think apart from, I mean, that continued from the interim budget, right? And that's what we are decoding today as well. I mean, so I think that apart from this, whatever tinkering happened a bit in the capital market taxes, wherein the tax simplification was the idea. So now everything in the long term, whether financial, non-financial assets are going to be taxed to 12.5%, some maybe for 2 years after, and some maybe after a year. That's going to be the long term, I would say, definition for different asset classes. Only as far as time is concerned, the tax rate is set. So I think else is good, and monsoon has been good overall. So that's favoring the FMCG stocks as well. The pharma is doing good. One thing is something that forgetting or keeping aside the budget, Sakshi, globally the markets have actually corrected quite a lot, but then we have seen some bounce back there coming in. So global markets have yet not taken off their highs. We have. So what could be that reason? So finally, adding that is that I believe that we have DII sitting on a lot of cash, and that is also the liquidity. I mean, finally, thing is what I would like to add is actually driving the markets up.
Right. Let's look at Paytm, viewers. We were just checking it before Jay joined in. The stock has skyrocketed. It's now at 10% circuit right now. And this is right after the government has approved Paytm's FDI proposal for payments aggregator business. And therefore, you see this sudden sharp spike that has taken it to 10% circuit. Good days coming back for Paytm, you think, Jay, after all the trouble that we've seen in the last 4-5 months unfold for the company. Do you think finally things are looking up?
Fundamentally, of course, I mean, what you have said is positive for the stock. Looking at technically, then I would say that Sakshi, it had seen continuous lower circuits, and the last final gap which was seen on this stock was around the levels of 527. So there is where, I mean, this stock really needs to take off. I mean, once it manages to move beyond 527, I think it will go and fill the gap which was created, and thereafter the next target will be 600 odd levels for the gap. So beyond 527, one can look out for 600 in order to see the gap filling process for the stock. Now on the downside, 470 is an immediate support.
राइट ठक्कर साहब की जय हो, स्वागत है आपका मार्केट टुडे पर। जय जी, क्या चल रहा है आपकी ज़िंदगी में आजकल?
Well, thank you very much, Shaji. And मार्केट में जब तक तेजी रहेगी, जिंदगी में मजे रहेंगे, राइट? I think बहुत ही बढ़िया चल रहा है सब कुछ, Shaji. Thank you so much, and I hope everything is good at your end as well. I mean, it's good to connect after. But मैं देखिए, जब तक तेजी है सर, मार्केट पार्टिसिपेंट्स खुश है, हम सारे हमारे नौकरियों में भी खुश है।
जी जी ठक्कर साहब, ऐसा ज़बरदस्त मोमेंटम है। आज हम लोग सुबह वार्तालाप कर रहे थे साक्षी और मैं, और हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि 24,500 के ऊपर बाज़ार बंद हो जाएगा वीकली लेवल पर, तो बड़ी खुशी होगी। अब देखिए किस तरीके से क्या कहते हैं वो नफ़ा टपक रहा है।
जी जी जी, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। I mean, मैंने सुना आपको, आपने एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ द शो आपने कहा
जी जी जी, अच्छा आप हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए थे। अच्छा अच्छा
जी जी, मैंने सुना तभी आपको कि आप 24,500 का कॉल आपने रेकमेंड किया था, एंड आई कांग्रेचुलेट यू ऑन द सक्सेस ऑफ।
ठक्कर साहब, मैं कुछ रेकमेंड नहीं करता, मैं बस दिखा देता हूँ। अब जिसमें जो अकल हो वो करे, उसके आगे ये तो सब कृपा है। आप जानते ही हैं ऑप्शन की दुनिया में कब पासा उलट हो जाए समय नहीं लगता है। लेकिन वो कोई रेकमेंडेशन नहीं थी। मैं बार बार कहता हूँ भाई देखो, इसे अपने रडार पर रखो और फिर देखेंगे। उसको नमस्ते कर दी हमने उसी वक्त जैसे ही शो शुरू हुआ, तो तब का तब। अच्छा ये बताइए, दो बढ़िया स्टॉक, क्योंकि अब बजट का सारा विश्लेषण हो चुका, सब डिसेक्शन हो चुका, सारे जो चेंजेस थे उनको लोग समझ चुके हैं, बाजार ने एक लंबी आह लेके वापस तेजी शुरू कर दी। अब बताइए क्या होगा आगे, दो बढ़िया स्टॉक जो आपको अच्छे लगते हो।
बिल्कुल, सी शहर जी, मैं कहूँगा आपसे कि इफ आई लुक एट दी सेक्टर्स आज के दिन जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, तो इफ यू लुक देन क्लियरली अपार्ट फ्रॉम बीएफएसआई, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द सेक्टर्स में आपको तेजी देखने मिल रही है, राइट? एंड देन auto has been in a very clear uptrend since quite a long, and now if you see, there has been a fresh breakout from Nifty Auto Index from that sideways channel, right? So I think the auto stocks are likely to do good from here on as well. I mean, budget specific तो हमने देखा ही है, FAME से लेकर extension in that, EV को लेकर काफी पॉजिटिव बातें हुई, बैटरीज को लेकर काफी बातें पॉजिटिव हुई। सो दोस थिंग्स आर पॉजिटिव, बट टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग टीवीएस मोटर्स 2510 पर ट्रेड कर रहा है अभी। यहाँ पे एक अच्छा सिमेट्रिकल ट्रायंगल पैटर्न में से ब्रेकआउट है, लॉन्ग बिल्डअप भी आज देखने मिल रहा है। सो वन कैन बाय दिस प्लेसिंग अ स्टॉप लॉस बिलो 2450। सो 60 रुपए का एक स्टॉप लॉस रहेगा। But on the upside, one can target 2630 positionally. That would be the first target, and 2680 would be the second target positionally. ये symmetrical triangle pattern की range लगभग मैं कहूँगा शैली has been around 200 to 250 points. That's nearly around 10%. So उसे सुपर इम्पोज कर दूँ 2750 भी आता है target. But then these are the two conservative targets which I have recommended on TVS Motors. The second stock which I like is Adani Ports. अडानी पोर्ट्स मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि आज काफी समय के बाद आप देखिए इसमें 1500 के ऊपर अच्छा खासा टिक रहा है। सो विद दैट एज अ स्टॉप लॉस 1500 का स्टॉप लॉस, मेजर हर्डल मुझे ये स्टॉक में 1610 तक नहीं नजर आ रहा, तो 1610 वुड बी द टारगेट। And last but not the least, we have seen the life insurance space doing really good, and MFSL, Max Financial Services. I mean that has clearly provided a very good breakout from a huge consolidation. इसमें ये स्टॉक में हमने देखा था कि यू नो 1080 से लेकर 880 ये रेंज में काफी समय इसने बिताया। टेक्निकली मैं कहूँगा लगभग दिसंबर 2023 से लेकर दिसंबर तक, तो लगभग 6-7-8 महीनों की कंसोलिडेशन रेंज का ब्रेकआउट है। Now with the break, stop loss of 1080 positionally, one can go long on this. 1200 से लेकर 1250 ये दो टारगेट्स रहेंगे। So these are the top picks: TVS Motors, Adani Ports, and MFSL.
ठक्कर साहब, मैं 2-3 बातों पर और चर्चा करता हूँ। दिस इज़ NSE 100, लेडीज़ एंड जेंटलमैन, द लिस्ट ऑफ द इंडेक्स ऑफ 100 biggest blue chips in India. Sakshi, in this 15 stocks are at a record high. So you can well imagine what the momentum is on the long side, and you mentioned 47:3 as the advanced decline ratio on the Nifty. Just the right moment to check out what is happening in the broader space. So this is 5:1, I'm sorry, 3:1, 1720 stocks in the green, 581 in the red. This is on National Stock Exchange. So it's an easy 3:1 advanced decline ratio. Now we track 19 indices for you. All 19 are in the green. This is absolutely no issue at all, and the rally is led by Nifty metals. This is something that Sakshi pointed out in the first 1 or 2 minutes of trade. 3% higher on the Nifty metals index. We'll take a long term chart of the Nifty metals index. Remember just one thing: if ever you see any index moving more than 1.7% higher, remember a new trend has started, and for Nifty metals index this is something substantial. I just want to see the chart of Vedanta to see what the stock is doing. Remember, they have a board meeting today in which we have a second interim dividend coming in, 3.25% as far as the Vedanta stock is concerned. Thakkar साहब, कोई आपका favorite metal counter that you like?
बिल्कुल सी, आज मेटल्स ने डेफिनेटली शेल जी कमाल ही दिखा दिया है। मैंने द टॉप गेनर, I mean, who would have imagined this after a sharp correction coming in? But then technically अगर मैं बात करूँ तो मेटल इंडेक्स में not exactly but a sort of a morning star reversal candlestick pattern भी है। हालांकि फर्स्ट डे अगर आपका डोजी नहीं होता तो एक एग्जैक्ट मॉर्निंग स्टार पैटर्न हो जाता, बट देन भावना तो समझ ही गए रहेंगे क्या मैं कहना चाह रहा हूँ। सो इट्स अ गुड रिवर्सल। बट जहां तक मेटल स्टॉक्स का कंसर्न है, सो आई वुड से दैट आई लाइक वन ऑफ द स्टॉक व्हिच आई लाइक इज नाल्को. Nalco is one stock which I believe that has provided a very significant breakout from long-term consolidation. अगर इसके मंथली चार्ट देखूं शेल जी तो 140 के ऊपर जो ये निकला है, आई मीन लाइफ टाइम हाई के ऊपर, आई मीन दैट वाज क्रिएटेड समवेयर इन 2008, और उसके ऊपर निकल के जो इसने तेजी पकड़ी थी, ये जो प्रॉफिट बुकिंग साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन है, I mean that should be taken as a buying opportunity longer term के लिए, medium to long term. I think Nalco is my top pick among the metal counters, and thereafter definitely I'll be focusing on Vedanta. These are the two stocks. हिंदुस्तान जिंक ऐसा है कि साहब वो पकड़ में आया नहीं, अगर इनिशियली अगर आप देखें तो जो इसने रिटर्न्स दिए, but that is also one stock which has delivered absolutely fantastic returns historically, and definitely if you have some further profit bookings until the levels of 575-80, then that could be also one stock which can definitely deliver good returns going forward. So I know it's a part of Vedanta as well. So अच्छे dividend paying भी stocks है. So Vedanta, Nalco, Hindustan Zinc. I mean, these are the stocks one can focus as far as metal stocks are concerned. I think here the risk reward is better. Although sale Tata Steel भी अच्छी है, but then these three stocks are my favorite.
Got it. Well, we have some results coming in. Chola Investments has come out with an earnings, and the stock has reacted positively, 3% higher in trade. This is after the company has reported a 942 odd crore rupees of profit in this quarter versus 726 crore rupees that was in the year ago period. The NIIs have also improved to 2573 crores on a year-on-year basis. This is from 1842 odd crore rupees that was reported as the net interest income in the previous quarter, the previous year's same quarter. So that's the initial numbers that are coming in. Already the stock is inched up higher. Now 3.7% uptick can be seen on this one. Definitely two parameters are looking positive as of now. Chola Investment, how are you looking at the charts right now, Jay?
See, definitely Chola investments have delivered fantastic returns, in the historically as well. And right now, looking at it, I would say, it continues, its uptrend. I mean, the stock had fallen technically in a falling channel kind of a pattern, although the breakouts actually will be confirmed above the levels of 1460, wherein it would take off its previous swing high, approximately, and it would provide that sideways consolidation breakout. But I think the probability of the same is very high. So until unless the stock is now not falling below the levels of 1400 from the point of view of derivatives, I think the stock is likely to take off 1460 and head towards 1500.
Okay, got that. So that's the view coming in. But Jay, you were mentioning the life insurance space, and I'm keen to ask you on LIC, which has crossed its earlier all-time high and is at a new lifetime high in trade today. Do tell me, what is the sense that you have on LIC? What should one do? Would you chase the momentum? 1180 right now, 1.7% higher.
Well, see, this stock, I would say, Sakshi, post its listing, tested the patience of many investors in it. I mean, one of the best or one of the record-breaking IPOs of that time, and but then good discount to the retail investors as well, those who were actually holding the policies, or but those who waited, this stock has delivered that returns. And then, again, it has provided that breakout from a symmetrical triangular pattern. Technically, the results were good. And as I said, life insurance companies are, in buzz right now. I mean, you didn't see anything negative coming on these space, in the budget. So I think yes, technically I believe that 1050 on an immediate basis, positionally is a very crucial support. I mean, till we, or maybe even for that matter, 1100. So 1100 to 1050 is a good support range. Sakshi, until that range is held, this stock may inch towards 1400 levels as well. As a disclaimer, I would say that many a times we have recommended LIC from trading and investment point of view.
Fair point. That's the view coming in on LIC. Again, this is a thematic move. No matter which insurance company that you pick is up. And remember, for the real long-term shareholder, if there has been one sector that is disappointing for the last 5-7 years, it is the insurance space, with the exception of SBI Life. So nobody has made money in this space. I'll give you an example. New India Assurance, the price that you see of 302, 305, the all-time high for this one is 374. This is an adjustment in stock price because of a bonus, but that's how it is. And if you look at HDFC Life, one of the much touted stocks that we often talk about, the IPO of HDFC Life was somewhere in 2018, and from 415 rupees then we are just at 703. The all-time high of HDFC Life Insurance is 774. It's good that it's headed higher, but the point I'm trying to make is that whether you look at Pro ICICI, whether you look at HDFC Life, whether you look at the private and the public insurers, nobody has made money in the long term. So please keep that in mind when we see things like the sharp moves that we are coming on these space. Look at GIC Ray. Sakshi, it was up 15%, right, when you just pointed out? Okay. The all-time high of GIC Ray was on the listing month in October 2017, 442. And we still have to see that level. Of course, it's back in 400, which is such a relief. But the point I'm trying to make is that we have 17 plus 24. That's a 7-year wait for the same price to come in. So in 7 years, the Nifty has gone from maybe X to 3X. But this is what life is. Thakkar Sahab, anything in the mid-cap space that looks good to you on the charts? You've mentioned TVS and Adani Ports as your top picks. Both of them are Nifty counters. What looks good in the mid-cap space?
PI Industries. This is one stock. I mean, it's up by almost 5% today. If you look at the open interest, it's up by 6% plus. So PI Industries is one stock technically. And if I look at this, it has provided a breakout from a huge consolidation. I mean, this stock has provided a breakout from a 1 year long consolidation. I mean, it had formed a top at around, in June 23, and now it's almost, we have come into August, series for 24, and almost after 1 year or more than that, it has provided this breakout. The prices did not correct much initially, but then it was into a consolidating range. The range was huge. It was from 3,200 to 44,000 levels. So it's almost 800 points range, and above which I think that it's likely to head towards 4,800 to 5,000. So PI industries definitely looks positive. If you look at the derivatives data too, the Shelji, and we have seen a good long build up coming year. I mean, the monthly momentum indicators, the weekly indicators, the daily indicators. I mean, when I compare it with the price as well. So it's a price momentum breakout along with good long additions from the derivatives point of view.
Sakshi.
Right, Jay, I also wanted to understand from you on the auto space as well. It all began with Tata Motors yesterday, the way it was moving up in trade. The entire space, now even Ashok Leyland has picked up pace as well. Within the auto space entirely, what looks good to you?
Well, see, as I said, Maruti has done good, but then TVS Motors is what I like. But
Yeah.
coming back to what was actually announced in the budget, so government has allocated almost 1,300 crores for PM e-bus Seva scheme, in this budget. So this scheme will promote e-mobility in public transport. Sakshi, the scheme will act as a catalyst for adoption of electric buses. So it comes positive for stocks like Ashok Leyland and Tata Motors, and these two stocks are up. Ashok Leyland and Tata Motors on account of this, as they are major players in e-buses segment. Second is government has retained allocation of 3,500 crores as an incentive for PLI scheme, and for automobile and automobile components. So this will definitely help companies like TVS Motors or all those who are into electric play. So I think that overall two-wheeler space, I like Aisha Motors, TVS Motors. These are the two picks of mine, which I think should do good. And along with that, as Tata Motors and Aisha, Ashok Leyland, they've already done good, and they may continue to do so as well.
Hmm. Okay, got that. So
क्या
that's
बात
the
है.
entire auto space. What else is looking good? Paytm, again, just wanted to understand from you, Paytm, and also if you could add the entire new age internet space, Jay. What looks good to you? It was Zomato a few, couple of weeks back that was consistently on everybody's purchase radar. But what else has come up within this space?
But see, technically speaking, more of I track more of derivatives. But then, however, technically speaking, as a disclaimer, I would say that I track more of derivatives, but not non-FNO stocks. But talking about non-FNO stocks as well, technically, Nika. This has actually consolidated quite a lot in the range of 200 to 150, 140. I mean, if you look at the charts, it's clearly formed a nice symmetrical triangle pattern. It's just at the cusp of providing a breakout on the upside, zero line. So that's in the favor. Apart from that, Map My India is one stock from the new age companies, which I think had maybe we had Goldman Sachs report on it as well, which had a huge upside target. However, post that we saw some profit booking from promoters themselves, but the stock has managed to recover, and I believe that on the downside, 2,100 to 2,200 is a good range for Map My India. I mean, on the upside, the stock may positional point of view inch towards 3,000 as well.
ठक्कर साहब कोई मिड कैप स्मॉल कैप बता दीजिए 200-250 रुपए वाली. टीवीएस आपने बताया 2500, पीआई इंडस्ट्रीज आपने बताया 4600, मैप माई इंडिया 2100. मैं तो मिड कैप स्मॉल कैप पूछ रहा हूँ, आप इतना बड़ा टिकट साइज बता देते हैं, 10 शेयर भी नहीं ले सकते हम लोग.
देखिए शैल जी, ऐसा है मार्केट में अभी जहाँ पे आपको सही एक रिस्क रिवॉर्ड दिखे, आई मीन वहां पे अगर आप से निवेश करें फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ ट्रेडिंग और इन्वेस्टमेंट, वो हमेशा मैं ऐसे ही बताता हूँ कि रिस्क रिवॉर्ड हमेशा फेवर करना चाहिए. जो स्मॉल टिकट शेयर्स है, आई मीन एज फार एज प्राइसेस आर कंसर्न, नॉट द मार्केट कैप, आई मीन ऐसे कोई खास मेरे ध्यान में है नहीं एज ऑफ नाउ. अदरवाइज डेफिनेटली मैंने तो आपको बता ही दिया.
बिल्कुल. देखिए, भाव भगवान है, भाव को हमें सलाम करना है. और मैं अक्सर आपको कहता हूं कि जो प्राइस हमारे स्क्रीन के सामने है उसमें हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते। ये प्राइस जो है बाज़ार हमें देता है और इसको पूरा सलाम है। अब इशू ये है ठक्कर साहब कि कई व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप हैं जिनका काम ही ये है 200 रुपये से कम के स्टॉक देखना, और उसमें मतलब उन लोगों ने ऐसे 60-70 स्टॉक ढूंढ रखे हैं जो 200 रुपये से कम है, 50 रुपये से ऊपर हैं, एक्चुअली 20 रुपये से ऊपर हैं। 200 और 200 के बीच, 20 और 200 के बीच में लड़ाई जो है उसमें वो 20% सर्किट ढूंढते रहते हैं। तो वो भी दुनिया है और वहाँ पे भी बहुत मज़ा आ रहा है आजकल, मैं देखता रहता हूँ, तो वो भी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग स्पेस है। चलिए जी,
शेर जी एक और चीज मैं
जी
ऐड
जी,
करना चाहूँ।
हुकुम हुकुम।
बजट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू अगर आप देखें तो डेफिनेटली द स्टॉक्स व्हिच आर इनटू द एक्वाकल्चर इंडस्ट्री, आई मीन अगर आप देखें तो एपेक्स फ्रोजन हो गया, अवंती फीड्स हो गया, ज्यादातर मुझे पता है इंडिया में many of them do not buy these stocks. I mean, many of them don't even buy ITC or liquor stocks. But then, keeping that aside, just focusing on the stocks and companies, of course, from the market point of view, from the company point of view, to look at, I think the kind of focus on the agri, maybe aquaculture, or maybe other kind of as well. I mean, government is very focused here as well. I mean, there was good positive announcement for these companies, and we had seen these stocks in fact reacting quite positively. Whether it is Apex Frozen or maybe Avanti Fields or maybe Godrej Agrovet, तो बहुत ही बढ़ी है, and lower levels अगर आप recently देखें, but then technically speaking as well, Avanti Fields, I mean, I know you look at charts also very very closely. So Avanti Fields has provided a very very nice breakout from a long term consolidating range. When the volumes have gone up, the momentum has reversed on the monthly charts as well. So I think this can be one stock which is into 3 digits, not 4 digits, Shelby, which can be focused as well.
ठक्कर साहब देखिए, लिकर को तो हम ट्रैक करते हैं और बहुत समय से बहुत सारी ऐसी कंपनीज हैं जहाँ पर लॉन्ग टर्म वेल्थ बनी है। यूनाइटेड स्पिरिट्स, यूनाइटेड ब्रूरीज, फिर रैडिको खैतान तो अरसे से चला आ रहा है। लेकिन ज़रा श्रिम्प से मैं दूर रहता हूँ, मेरे को थोड़ी तकलीफ़ है। कभी भी मैंने वो सेक्टर ट्रैक नहीं किया, और आपने बिल्कुल सही बताया, बाज़ार का एक हिस्सा है जो इस तरफ देखता ही नहीं। अब सही गलत तो मैं कह नहीं सकता, लेकिन जो है सो है। और आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा, पिछले 5-7 दिनों में बड़े अच्छे पैसे श्रिम्प की कंपनियों में बने हैं, लेकिन मैं व्यक्तिगत तौर पे इनसे ज़रा दूर रहता हूँ। तो चलिए, अब आपसे दिल्ली में कब मुलाकात हो रही है?
डेफिनेटली बहुत जल्द, व्हाई नॉट। आई मीन एक बार ये मानसून खत्म हो जाए, आई मीन द काइंड ऑफ मानसून व्हिच वी ऑल आर विटनेसिंग हियर इन मुंबई, एटलीस्ट मजा तो आ रहा है, हम खुश तो है, बट मैं कहूँगा मानसून में आप यहाँ पे आ जाइए, यहाँ का माहौल काफी बढ़िया होता है मुंबई का। पोस्ट मानसून डेफिनेटली आपसे मुलाकात दिल्ली में होगी।
जी ठक्कर साहब, आप बम्बई के परिंदे हैं, आप दिल्ली की मानसून से डर रहे हैं?
थोड़ा ड्यूरिंग दी जो टर्बुलेंस होता है शैल जी फ्लाइट में, 1-2 बार ऐसा हुआ है कि तब से मैं अवॉइड ही करता हूँ जितना हो सके मानसून में फ्लाइट से ट्रैवल करना।
बिल्कुल। चलिए, मेरे पास एक बहुत अच्छा जोक है, इसको ओवरकम करने का मैं आपको भी मैसेज में भेजता हूँ। आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया ठक्कर साहब, बड़ा अच्छा लगा, बड़े दिनों में मुलाकात हुई, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जी हाँ जी, और आते रहिए, चर्चा बढ़ती रहेगी।
श्योर सर।
चलिए, ladies and gentlemen, we are at 3:08 p.m. It's turned out to be a fantastic day. We had started this conversation early morning saying thank God it's Friday, and it's really worked out superbly well. So 24,828. Let me just see an interesting data. What is the record close on the Nifty? That is something that we need to look at. The record close is 24,800. Yes.
उसके तो ऊपर हो ही जाएगा।
Correct. हाँ, मतलब let's pray for the next 22 minutes that we have a close above 24,800. That will be a record close, and an intraday hit above 24,854. Although that looks a little difficult, but a great day. Look at how Bank Nifty is performing. This is really heartening, because this week has been very bad for Bank Nifty, primarily because of how Axis Bank paved out. So the low for today, ladies and gentlemen, is 50,440, and we are at 51,254. So 560 plus 254 is an 800-point uptick from the day's low. So that is an interesting thing to note at, and of course this is a rally which hopefully should have some strength. Remember, the all-time high of Bank Nifty is 53,360, and we are at roughly ballpark 51. So it's already a 223 point correction, 2,223 point correction that we've seen. Keep an eye out on this one. Let's see whether this has strength or not. One thing I'd just like to mark is the number of record highs on the Nifty. That is something to be noted, because that is an indication of ongoing strength. 3 plus 3 plus 2, 8. We'll just tell you the names, we've discussed all of them. SBI Life 1750 post earnings. This is really important, ladies and gentlemen. If a counter rises after very strong earnings, the trend accelerates further. Sun Pharma 1712, 2.8% higher. Tata Motors and iShares we've discussed threadbare, as also TCS, NTPC and ONGC. The remaining counter is Grasim 2846, 1.74% higher. Sakshi.
Right, I think we also have some more numbers. Cipla that's come in. I can see margins improvement to 25.6% from 23.6%. So that's a 200 basis points of an improvement for sure for Cipla. Some more numbers that are trickling right in. Okay, I will read them up to you. But Cipla spike, what a spike, 5% higher for Cipla right now after those numbers that are coming in. I think the consolidated EBITDA is at 1715 odd crore rupees. This is higher than the estimate that was somewhere around 1600 odd crore rupees for Cipla. We are also looking at the revenues that have now come in at 6694 odd crore rupees on a consolidated basis. Although the expectation was slightly higher than this one on the top line figure, then let's look at the profit figure. It's at 1177 crores. Sharply higher than the estimate, which was somewhere around 1100 crores, and probably this is that figure that has led to this sharp spike. 6% higher for Cipla at 1590 odd levels right now. So you do see a strong surge. All right, we do have another guest now joining right in. Let's take in the view of our other guest. Ruchit Jain is now with us, lead research analyst at 5paisa. Ruchit, warm welcome. Thank you for taking the time out. And we will come to the markets. I think we're just near that breaching of the earlier record high now. That was 24,854 viewers. Just 4 points away from hitting that level. That could be any second, any minute. Your sense, Ruchit, first on Cipla, you give us, and then we'll come to the markets for you. Cipla has just come out with a number, 6% uptick.
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon, Sakshi. Well, no, the 6% uptick today has breached the previous swing high, which is a very positive sign. And overall, we have seen that the entire pharma basket has been doing quite well. You take it from the large cap name stocks such as Sun Pharma is there. Even Cipla today gave a breakout above previous swing high. So I think the entire sector looks quite promising for a short to medium term, from a short to medium term perspective. And if this momentum continues on the high side, then we could see 1700 coming in on Cipla in the near term. So trend looks positive. When any existing positions are there, one has formed before the results, then one should continue to hold on to those longs.
Good afternoon to you, Ruchit, and a very warm welcome. Fabulous rally. I think we will not only have a record close, but we will also have a record high on the Nifty, 24,857. And of course, any close above 24,800 will be a record close. Anything of consequence that looks good to you on the charts at such levels?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon. I think if we look at the broader markets, then broader markets have done well in last 3-4 trading sessions when the indices were correcting. So that was one of the sign that we are not into any kind of price-wise corrective phase. And now what we have seen in today's trading session, the first day of expiry, when much of the positions got lightened up in yesterday's expiry with the rollovers. If you look at the rollover figures, FIs which had about 80-82% long positions before the expiry, they have lightened up the positions to 57%. Client section which was around 35-36% odd long short ratio, they have covered those short positions, and their long short ratio has come up to around 50%. So 50-57% long short ratio indicates there a room for formation of new positions has been created. So that's why I think we have seen such a sharp move today, because the view for FIs have been quite bullish in last 1.5 months, and since the positions have now come down to 57%, I think fresh long positions may would have formed in today's trading session. So, and we can clearly see good momentum in the large cap names. So I think large cap, even the mid cap stocks are positive, but I think large cap stocks could do well. And one of the sector that we are looking at, which has not performed yet, is the Nifty PSU banking index. So the last 1.5-2 months, the PSU space has seen a decent consolidation, but this entire consolidation, the stock index is trading around its 89 EMA support. So I think here on from, if we look at a continuation of the positive move, then there are some sectors or stocks which have already moved higher. If one is looking for doing bottom fishing in any kind of sector which has not yet moved, then I think PSU banking space is offering a good risk reward ratio over here.
Okay, got that. So that's the view coming in. Your sense now for the new series that we've started today, Ruchit, Nifty Bank, where do you see the outperformance? What should be the strategy for viewers?
So for now, today's move clearly indicates that it has resumed its uptrend. We witnessed a minor correction of about 750-800 points in last 4 or 5 trading sessions. But new highs has been formed, which is a good sign. So probably this should continue. If we look at the retracement, then there's a possibility of index testing that 25,100 to 25,200 range. So I think for Nifty, 25,100, 25,200 would be the important range on the high side, which could be seen maybe in the coming week only.
Fair point. Ruchiji, we've had a very sharp downtick on Axis Bank post its earnings. What are the medium-term charts of Axis Bank telling you?
Whenever we see such negative crossovers, the stocks usually either go through some price-wise corrective phase or a time-wise corrective phase. So I think there is a possibility of a short-term relative underperformance in Axis Bank compared to other private sector banks in case if this consolidation also continues. Good support for the stock is there around 1140 to 1120, and if that gets braced, then major support would be seen around 1050. So I think one should wait and watch. Let the bank Nifty resume its uptrend, because what we have seen, Nifty has hit its all-time high, but bank Nifty is still far away from the previous high which it has formed. So next week, today it was the first day of the new expiry. So a lot of new positions get formed over here. So next week, if we see any such positive data in the banking index, then I think one should look for any kind of bottom fishing in the banking names. But within that too, as we discussed that Axis Bank may be a relative underperformer only in the short term.
Okay, got that. What else is moving? Metal space we haven't discussed with you, Ruchit. So let's ask you, 3% higher. It's been on a sharp upward move that we have seen on the metals today. Where do you see continued promise? Because again, this moves as a cyclical phase. But those people who get an entry at the higher point, they tend to perhaps get stuck in a consolidation phase every time this cycle has to move, and then they have to wait for the next cycle. For metals, is this move going to be a continuous affair right now?
So last few days, actually, we have seen metal index getting corrected from the highs. I think on the 3rd of June, we had seen 10,200, almost 10,200 kind of levels in the Nifty metal index. We have corrected towards 9,200, 9,000 kind of range in last 1 month. So, although we have already seen a correction, so prices are trading near the support end of the range. But yes, one should be very selective, because what we have seen in the base metals, in the global markets, they have corrected sharply, and hence, metal stocks would be on the toes. Their volatility could be on the volatility could be high. Hindalco within this space, the broader chart success is looking a bit positive on the Hindalco, where the 100 DMA has been acting as a support recently. Even in the previous correction, the 100 DMA had acted as a support. So I think here, if one has to pick anything, then Hindalco could be one stock which from a mid-term perspective one can look for buying opportunities.
Okay, got that. Viewers, as we are inching closer to the day's close and the week's close as well, there is going to be enough and more action on the D Street, even beyond the market hours today and over the weekend. ICICI Bank, the big heavyweight counter, will be coming out with its numbers, and it will be the first number that we will be reacting to or looking at on Monday morning for sure. Let's get in my colleague Asim right here, who's been tracking as to what could be the big expectations from ICICI Bank's numbers, and are we going to be seeing some surprise on the upside in Q1 for ICICI Bank? Asim, over to you.
Thanks, Sakshi. So the lender will be reporting its earnings tomorrow. Axis Securities sees the net profit at rupees 10,347 crore, up 7.2% on a year-on-year basis, but down 3.4% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. It sees provisions rising 109% on a quarter-on-quarter basis to rupees 1,500 crore from rupees 718 crore in the March quarter. And on a year-on-year basis, the provisions are expected to rise 16% from rupees 1,292 crore. NII is seen rising 2% on a quarter-on-quarter basis and 6.8% on a year-on-year basis to rupees 19,473 crore in the June quarter. Another brokerage, Yes Securities, sees net profit at rupees 10,875 crore, up 10,875 crore, up 13% on an year-on-year basis and 1.6% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Pre-provisioning operating profit is seen at rupees 15,259 crore, up 8% on an year-on-year basis, and NII is seen at rupees 19,665 crore, up 8% on a year-on-year basis. International brokerage Nomura sees net profit rising 11% to rupees 10,680 crore from rupees 9,650 crore in June 2023 quarter. Core operating profit and net profit are expected to be unchanged on a quarter-on-quarter basis. It also pegs core pre-provision operating profit at rupees 15,280 crore, up 10% year-on-year from rupees 13,890 crore seen in Q1 of FY24 and unchanged from rupees 15,322 crore profit in Q4 of FY24. Back to you, Sakshi.
Right, thanks a lot then, Asim, for all that update right here. Let's get in back to Ruchit now to really see on the banking space how is ICICI Bank really looking at right now, and within the large cap private banks, where is he more bullish on? Ruchit, over to you.
Yeah, so I think here the broader trend remains still on the positive side. ICICI Bank, there's a good support around 1170 to 1180 range, and I think ahead of the results already the stock price has seen some correction from the highs. So the follow-up move will be, of course, will be very important. We have seen that Axis Bank had declared negative results compared to expectation, and hence the stock got a beating. So in case if the stock ICICI Bank manages to defend the support of 1170, 1180, then we could see a resumption of the uptrend in the stock. So 1170, 1180 would be the level where no short-term traders should be watching.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, Sakshi, I'm just looking at two data points from ICICI Bank. CASA ratio, whether that's a rise or a fall. Remember, Axis Bank announced a 400 basis point drop in CASA from 42% to from 46% to 42%, and it paid a very heavy price. So this is the intraday chart, but if you look at the 5-7 day chart, you'll see a very sharp erosion coming in. ICICI Bank is the third heaviest weighted counter on the Nifty, so it has its own importance. But what is also worth looking is the number of the trend in gross and non-performing net NPAs. These are the two things that we'll be waiting for on Saturday as far as this particular bank is concerned. But a sterling day on the Nifty, 435 points higher as far as this index is concerned. Needless to say, we'll have a record close, 24,840. The budget, ladies and gentlemen, is now a non-event. From now on, only two things will matter: the trajectory of earnings, which sadly to say is muted, and of course the moves by the US Federal Reserve on Wall Street. If there is a cut in interest rates, then you will have a fabulous rally on Dalal Street. Forget 25,000, you are looking at something much bigger. And the fact that you have a very strong momentum coming back on the IT index. almost a 1,000-point uptick on the Nifty IT index, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just very quickly see what is the intraday high on CNX IT. This is of course going to be a record close. I'm just wondering whether did we have a 1,000-point uptick. The high is 41,073. So if you add 73 more points, okay, almost a 1,000-point uptick is what we see on the IT index. Ruchit, before we let you go, any favorite IT stock that you have?
I would stick with the large cap names within the IT pack, because if you look at last 3 or 4 quarters, the large cap stocks had seen a significant underperformance compared to the broader markets or the other sectors. And I think when the momentum has now resumed, with the reaction post the results are also being positive. So I think that's where the risk reward ratio is still favorable. Stock have already seen some run up. Stocks such as TCS and Infosys already have seen some run up. But I think if one is taking a view from a bit mid-term perspective, then even at current levels, one can look to start buying or add at current levels. And if in case if we get any kind of decline, then look that as a buying opportunity and average at lower levels. So I think TCS, Infosys would be the 2 large cap names where I think the party must go on.
Okay, got that. Well, 5 minutes to go, and we are definitely hoping to see that record closing high on the Nifty today. Even though it has not surpassed the previous all-time high level, that could be just a few days away or like a 1 day away. We could see that on Monday too. But let's look at what else can we understand. Pharma space for you, Ruchit. It's been rallying very, very sharply. Cipla, Divi's Laboratories, all up and about. Of course, there are the earnings play that is happening right there. But even Torrent Pharma, Loris, Sun Pharma, Granules, you name it, the entire sector, most of the stocks here are into the green. How would you look at the pharma story unfolding now over the next week and series?
Certainly, the trend looks quite bullish, and many of the pharma names, we have seen that these price up moves have been supported by very good volumes. So I think the up move would continue within the pharma names, and there could be a good outperformance even from current levels. From the large cap names, Cipla post results have given a good moment, and Sun Pharma I think would be the one stock where we are bullish since last 1 week, because the stock has again started forming this high top high bottom structure with surpassing the previous all-time high. The volumes are increasing gradually, so I think the entire pharma basket looks positive. Selectively, if I say, then Sun Pharma I think has a good potential if one is looking from short to medium term perspective.
And before we call it a day, we'll just mark that 24,500 call for our viewers. It ends, needless to say, at a high, which is, hold your breath, 400 rupees.
Recording in progress.
And that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why the doubling of STT will have no impact. If there is a good trader or an gambling aspirant who's hoping to double his money on a regular basis, an STT of 0.001%, which moves to 0.002%, will have zero impact on his thought process. The only thing that the government has done is paid lip service to the fact that they are trying to curb F&O trading, but come October and you'll see this, if not higher volume, already in the market. Sakshi.
Okay, got that. What a day it has turned out to be. A fantastic, a fabulous Friday, and thank God it's Friday is what we need to say right after today's day's close as well. Ruchit, thank you so much for being with us on this stellar show on the Nifty. The resilience that continues to give us faith that the Indian economic story is right on the good path, as so is the Indian market story, and that's what the retail investors are continuing to believing on it right here. 24,840 on your screens, viewers. 433 points higher in trade. You have the Nifty Bank that's up by 0.8%, a 422 point jump right here too. A sharp recovery from the day's low for the Nifty Bank. 51,315 is now up on the screens. The metal space 3% higher. Top moving sectoral index, pharma, auto, IT follow suit. Broader markets 1.8% higher for the midcap 100 index, small cap 100 index up by 1%. All the sectors managed to close into the green. India wicks down by 2.7% at 12.2. So that is the good part that we are looking at in the markets. Top movers on the Nifty, Shriram Finance, Cipla, Divis, Bharti Airtel, Apollo and Adani Ports. Top losers, Are there any? Yes, ONGC, Nestle, and Axis Bank. Barring, it's Axis Bank and even Nestle. They're just 0.1% lower in trade. It's ONGC that's down by almost 1%. So the losses are also limited to under 1% for all three of them at this point in time. The PSU index also by 1.5% higher in trade. Strong moves across BEL, BHEL, BPCL, Coal India, Concor, GAIL, HAL. All of these stocks were making a sharp comeback. FNO movers, Shriram Finance, Bharat Forge, Ashok Leyland, Emphasis, Piramal Enterprises. These were the top movers. Laggards on this front, you have SBI Cards that slipped about 6.5% in trade within the FNO space. L&T Technology Services about 4% lower. Federal Bank, Deepak Nitrite and M&M Financial with the other drags at this point in time. All right, viewers, we'll wrap it up at that. It's panned out to be a fantastic day of trade, and today's debutant, Sunstar, is closing almost 21% higher in trade as well. So the lucky one could be Sunstar. It had a 15% or a 12% premium, and then it's moved up to 21%. Right there. So all across the board, handsome gains today, and we wind up the week on a positive note yet again, thanks to today and thanks to this broad-based recovery in the markets today. With that, Shell and me bid goodbye to all of you. But do stay tuned on to Business Today Television as action will continue on the other side. I will come back with a very interesting panel on gold prices this time, which have been on a downward hill after the union budget has indicated the customs duty fall. Now, what does it mean for you as investors of gold is something that you'll find out right after this. PSU banks are now buzzing in trade, 0.8% higher in trade for the index. SBI top mover 1.1% higher, IOB, Can Bank, UCO, Indian Bank, Bank